I'd like to start by proposing that in order to make work more sustainable, we need to decommodify it. That is, work for the last 3 centuries has been a disembodied commodity that is bought and sold on the market. Mm-hmm. And that system, which we call capitalism, is inherently unsustainable and inherently exclusive, because it sells and buys the labor of women and people of color at a lower price than that of white men, and that is structurally designed. For the longest time, of course, capitalism didn't want to pay for the labor of people of color at all. These inherent racism and sexism are still present in capitalism as we know it today, which still largely requires people who are unskilled to sell their bodies alienated from their mind, and people who are so-called skilled to sell their mind alienated from their bodies. And so we don't have the two coming together. And what we get is alienation on a planetary scale. None of this is sustainable. It is the myth that we have to work to live. And live by what? Live by more commodities that are in themselves not sustainable. And so if you want to rethink work, then you need to rethink the definition of work, not as a commodity bought and sold, but as an essential part of what we do as human beings with each other, together and for ourselves. And for that, we need to accept that the growth, economic growth, and the growth of commodities has to stop. You cannot have infinite economic growth on a finite planet. And for that, we must, at the very least, start with a universal basic income that is based on a tax for the rich, because power and capital are concentrated in fewer and fewer hands of mostly rich white men. And furthermore, we have to eventually exit capitalism before it exits us from the planet, and move towards systems that are closer to decentralized socialism or anarcho-syndicalism or other forms of political economic systems that open up the space for possibilities and freedoms that are not currently granted to a large portion of the people on this planet.